Chapter 2 January 17th, 10:29 a.m. Joe. There was something different about Tamra this morning. I watched her through the cook's window and wondered what it was. She bustled from table to table, clearing dishes and setting new silverware rolls and coffee cups on them. Outwardly, she looked the same as she always did. Light brown hair pulled back into a loose ponytail, a few wisps out of place. Her green eyes were highlighted with smoky gray eyeshadow, high cheekbones tinted with a light shade of blush. I poured water on the grill and a steam cloud erupted. I picked up the spatula and scraped this morning's breakfast rush mess off the grill. Over the last year, Tamara and I worked together. We'd gotten pretty close. Well, as close as she'd let anyone get. Our friendship had an ease to it that didn't happen with everyone. Despite that, I didn't completely understand her. On the surface, she was friendly, but she was always a bit guarded. Most of the time, it felt like I was getting only half the story. Today, though, there was a sadness in her eyes, like something was eating her from the inside out. There had to be a way to approach the subject, but she was such a private person. If I brought it up, she'd probably deny it. I gave the grill another quick wipe down and threw the towel in the laundry bucket before grabbing an extra package of corned beef from the walk-in cooler. My phone hummed in my pocket on the way back to my work area. I threw the meat in the sink to thaw and answered it. "Hey, sweetie, you called earlier?" Susan said. "Yeah, a couple of things. First, I wanted to see if you're going to be able to make it to the AA meeting tonight. I couldn't have made it this far without you." "I don't know. I may have to work late." Of course. She always worked late. And early, for that matter. "Okay, I understand. Actually, I didn't, but I didn't want to start a fight. Is there any way you could pick up a few things for tomorrow night from the grocery store on the way home?" "Tomorrow night? Don't tell me you forgot. It was your idea." Silence. The party. My sobriety birthday. Realization seemed to dawn. Of course I didn't forget. It just slipped my mind for the moment. Busy day at the office. 3 years tomorrow, I said. And a lifetime left to go. If she was joking, I didn't see the humor in it. That's one way to look at it. But in the program, we like to take it one day at a time. The sarcasm was impossible to rein in. "I don't like your tone, Joe." "Yeah? Well, you know what I don't like?" My voice started to escalate. "I don't like the way you never give me any credit. It's like you're looking for me to fail. Is that what you think?" Her voice shook. I hadn't meant to hurt her. Why couldn't she understand that I'd worked so hard to stay sober for her? For us? Baby, I'm sorry. That came out all wrong. I just think maybe you should go to Al-Anon or some sort of support group with me, so you can understand my disease. We've been over this before, Joe. You know I don't have time for that. Besides, it's not me who has the problem. Why should I have to pay for it? Ouch. Sad, but unequivocally true. She shouldn't have to pay for my disease, but in so many ways she already had. You're right. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of everything. Chapter 6 January 18th, 5 a.m. Joe. The song, "I Can See Clearly Now," blared out of my radio alarm clock. Stretching, I smiled through a yawn and let the music play. It's one of those songs that reminded me of childhood. Whenever I had a bad day, my mom would push the furniture to the side, pull out her vinyl Johnny Nash album, and turn the record player up as loud as it could go. Then she'd drag me into the middle of the living room and make me dance with her until we were both laughing so hard I couldn't remember what I was upset about in the first place. As the memory faded, the lyrics spoke to me in a fresh way. This song put into words exactly how I felt lately. Like my life was finally coming into focus. The rain clouds were gone, and the sun was shining, even if it was the middle of January in Washington. Yawning deeply, I reached out to pull Susan close. She wasn't there. I turned on the light and scanned the room, my gaze landing on the yellow notepad on Susan's nightstand. Susan was an insomniac. Many times, she'd be up by 4 a.m. just because she was restless. More often than not, I'd find her in the office, poring over work stuff. I hated it, because I loved snuggling up to her first thing in the morning. But that was Susan, a very driven person. I rolled over to her side of the bed and saw a short note written in her elegant penmanship. "Hey, sweetie, I woke up and couldn't sleep, so I went for a jog." Since I had the house to myself, I cranked up the radio and, like a complete dork, danced around the bedroom. I sang along with the music as I climbed into the shower. I grabbed the overpriced spiced ginger soap Susan recently purchased and lathered myself. Susan had a high regard for the finer things in life, which was fine by me because her upper management job at Macy's supported it. I rinsed off quickly and stepped out of the shower, snagging the white towel that hung on the hook next to the tub. I dried off and wrapped the towel around my waist. The bathroom mirror had completely steamed up, so I used Susan's blow-dryer to make a circle big enough to see myself trim my beard. If Susan had her way, the beard would be gone, but I preferred a bit of scruff. Not to mention, I looked like a 15-year-old without it. Michael Jackson's Billie Jean began to play. I snapped my fingers to the beat, snatched up the hairbrush and sang into it, sliding my feet backward into the bedroom. Mid-moonwalk, my foot hit the area rug, my body lurched, and I barely grabbed the towel before it dropped to the floor. "Nice save," Susan's voice rang out over the music. I spun around. She leaned in the doorway, looking sexy in her tight yoga pants and oversized sweatshirt. Her full lips were curved slightly, and her dark eyes danced with amusement. When Susan was all done up, she looked like she belonged on a runway, but I liked her best the way she was at that moment. No makeup, no designer clothes, hair damp with sweat from her workout. She seemed more real like this, more natural. She sauntered toward me and gave me a quick peck. Now that's something you don't see every day. You caught me. I'm a closet Michael Jackson groupie. It's okay. I won't tell. Better not. I can't let information like this get out. Silly man. She leaned in for another kiss. You better finish getting ready for work. Glancing at the glowing numbers on my alarm, I cursed under my breath. I opened the dresser drawer and grabbed the first clean thing I found. Faded blue jeans and a white V-neck t-shirt. Susan scrunched her face up. "What? Are you really gonna wear that? Baby, come on." I tilted my head to the side. "I work in a greasy spoon, not the Hilton." "Whatever." She rolled her eyes and walked into the bathroom. As I drove to work, I couldn't help but think about the last 3 years and how much things had changed. More like how much I had changed. It was nice to be able to look in the mirror and actually like the man reflecting back at me. Flashbacks of shameful memories from the life I had before I got clean and sober occasionally hit. However, it had become easier to deflect those painful thoughts because that's not who I was anymore. Susan didn't seem to see that, though. If she did, she would have made it to the meeting last night. Why couldn't she see how hard I'd worked to get here? Pulling into the diner parking lot, I noticed Tamra's cabriolet. Strange. Had she been called into work again? Poor girl had been working far too much lately. Instead of entering the restaurant through the back door, I walked through the front. Tamra wasn't there. Betty paced behind the bar, hand on her forehead. "Hey, Joe." Betty spotted me as soon as I walked in. "My daughter just called. There's an emergency with my granddaughter. I need to go meet her at the hospital, and the new girl isn't here yet." Her voice grew more frantic as she talked. "Do you mind if I take off before Jennifer gets here?" "Yeah, sure, go. And keep me posted." She gathered her things and motioned toward the only patron in the place. "He hasn't ordered yet." "I got it, Betty. I'm sure Jennifer will be here soon. Thanks, Joe." What a morning it was turning out to be. Betty's grandchild was in the hospital. Jennifer was late. And where was Tamra? A wave of anxiety hit me. That was definitely her car in the parking lot. Had something happened to her? I crossed the room and grabbed the coffee pot, trying to shrug off the worried feeling. I poured myself a cup before walking over and refreshing the coffee of the customer. "Have you decided what you want yet, sir?" He peered up from behind his menu. "Yes. I'll take a Western omelet, hash browns, and rye toast." "All right, I'll go get that started for you." 10 minutes later, I placed the food in front of the man and turned to the clock. 6:45. Not good. Jennifer should have been here by now. I called her number from the kitchen. No answer. Great. Just perfect. The breakfast rush could arrive any moment, and there was no way I could run this place myself. I didn't want to disturb Trudy with all she was going through lately. There was always Tamra. She would come in. She deserved to be left alone after how hard she worked yesterday and the day before, but it gave me an excuse to make sure she was all right. I took a deep breath and dialed her number. Straight to voicemail. My stomach churned harder. Not only did that mean I was stuck here by myself, but there was also no way for me to know if she was okay.